Well, we're gonna have to keep our fingers crossed. Keep our fingers crossed. All my backup computers are dead. So this is the only one I have right now. And if the video gets garbled, you can tell HP and Best Buy, there's nothing wrong with her computer. I'm done fighting. I'm so done fighting. I will sit here and cry my eyes out when I start losing subscribers. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't afford another one. So, excuse me, I had an itch. This is the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. I'm glad you are joining me today. Please check out my Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Fridays, my If Then episodes on Friday. I'm going through a Halloween period, a very long one that lasted 2 months. Horrors, thrillers, suspense, Halloween cozies, not so Halloween cozies, and some more cozies. Then we're going to move into Thanksgiving. We have just about finished out James Patterson's Alex Cross series, and we have just about finished, we have finished J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and we are on book 8 of the C.S. Harris Sebastian St. Cyr series. I love this series. Those of you who know Outlander will understand this statement. Why is Claire Beecham Randall Fraser coming out of my book? I mentioned this on Facebook and they went, yep. Davina Porter, who does the Outlander audiobooks. So if you listen to the Outlander audiobooks for 80 plus hours, and then you turn to C.S. Harris books and it's Davina Porter again, you're like, huh? So yes, that was just part of the fact that I did listen to this via audiobook yesterday. I was doing some data entering, so I thought I would listen to the book. And so I had this Outlander thing going in my head all freaking day. So this is book 8, and it's you're. I love how Saint Cyr, and I will have to remember this because I did forget it the last time. I like it. Victoria Thompson does it quite often, and I enjoy the little extra notes at the end. And C.S. Harris did it this time too, and I enjoyed the notes at the end. So, and spoilers here. I will tell you everything that happens with the characters. I won't tell you the whodunit. You'll have to read the book for that purpose, but I will tell you everything else that happens. So we have this old guy who's in the middle of his scheduled appointment, should I say, with with a lady a lady that needs the money. So she's doing it because apparently he's a good tipper. Other than that, she's just gonna bear with it. Let's get it over with. Let me get out of here type situation. And he shows her a blue diamond, and apparently it's very big and very rare. And she doesn't believe it's a real diamond because it's so big and it's blue. And in the middle, before they even get situated with their stuff, someone comes to his door. So he hides her in a priest hole or a secret room. And the first person comes in, has an argument and may or may not leave. The second person comes in and he's shot and kills the guy and leaves out the back door. The courtesan also leaves out the back door. In the meantime, a third person comes in and discovers the dead body, and the magistrate, who just happens to be in the area, decides that the guy that he found leaning over the body is the guy that did it, and he arrests him, and that's Yates, and he is Kat's husband. Now we'll start with Sebastian St. Cyr is our lead character, and his father is Hendon, and their relationship is a little bit estranged. They go through estranged periods. He is Sebastian had older brothers. They all died. Sebastian is the sole heir. So that's why Hendon is keeping him. Plus the fact that Hendon does, in his way, care for Sebastian. Sebastian's mother left a very, very long time ago. One of the first things that Sebastian had with his father was the fact that his father told them his mother had died. Sebastian just recently found out that his mother did not die. She ran away. And she's living over in Italy or someplace. So that was the first little straining point, recent straining point. They've had others, but this is a recent one. So Sebastian is mad at his father for not telling him that his mother was still alive. Some stuff happened. They got through it. He started to reconcile with his father when him and Kat decided, well, he decided he wanted to marry Kat. He did not care that she was an actress. She cared that she was an actress. The ton would care that she was an actress. They would be shunned. It just wouldn't work out. And, so after that happened, and the father even threatened to disown him, but he really wasn't going to do it anyway because Sebastian is the only heir. And so then it comes to light that Kat is supposedly his half-sister. And so he's been sleeping with his half-sister all these years, but in the same couple of chapters, so you, the reader, are not left hanging. Sebastian's left hanging for a little longer, but you, the reader, aren't left with, ew, too long. You're only left for like a chapter or two. When it comes to light that Sebastian is not the biological child of Hendon, and Hendon knows this. So technically, Kat is not his sister. She is the biological child of Hendon, but Sebastian is not. And then we have Hero, Sebastian's new wife, who was with child. They had an encounter a couple of books ago, and she's with child. This is the third book. It took him 2 books to get her to agree to marry him. In this book, they've been married almost 2 months, not quite 2 months in this book. So this book starts shortly after the other one too. So I like that they're really sequential here. So Hero is his wife. And she is also the daughter of Lord Charles Jarvis, Sebastian's enemy, he's a powerful man in government. He's also a very distant cousin of the Prince George. So, and then we have Henry Lovejoy, the magistrate that loves working with Sebastian. We also have Paul Gibson is our coroner, very primitive coroner, but he's, for 1800, he's doing pretty good. So, there is your main cast. So we have the murder of the guy with the diamond, and Yates, Kat's husband, is arrested, and they want Sebastian to look into it. And there's quite a few famous families involved with this situation. Some gold smugglers, some French gold smugglers. It really gets intense. Now, let's see. So then, also in the beginning of the book, and you don't understand why, this is important, until almost the end of the book, but, there is a suicide in the beginning of the book, but the coroner will list it as a death by his disease, because he did have a disease. But Rice Wilkinson, an old pal of Sebastian's, died and on a park bench, and they're trying to figure out what's going on with that. You will later find out what exactly happened, but you won't find out. Paul Gibson will not tell Sebastian till the very, very end of the book where you understand what happens. But Major Rice Wilkinson, um, Sebastian had been sent out looking for him during the night. His wife was worried that he never came home, and that then they find him dead in the park. So then, like I said, Hendon comes and arrives and tells Sebastian that Yates, Kat's husband, has been arrested, and they would like him to look into it. Kat's marriage to Russell Yates was just a marriage of convenience. It was a marriage of safety. Yates was gay, a very tight held secret. So him and Kate were just for appearance sakes, but they did care for each other. So Sebastian goes to see Yates in jail and tries to get some information out of him there. He has a few moments with Annie Wilkinson, the wife, and the daughter Emma. He does eventually finally spill the tea about his relationship with Kat and how he went through the period where Kat is Hendon's daughter. And he also tells her about him not being Hendon's son. Hero confronts her father, and her father knew the entire time. Why didn't you tell me? Would it have made a difference? She says no. He said, then why tell you? So that was basically their conversation. Then there's this other guy that has come into the scene, and he will become more prominent as time goes on. But we have this Jamie Knox, and apparently he may or may not be, although I'm leaning towards will probably be, Sebastian's brother, because he looks so much like him. It's constantly mentioned how much Jamie Knox looks like Sebastian and has some of Sebastian's talents, hearing and seeing talents. So then Sebastian does his investigation. He gets involved with a guy named Colott, and Hero is also in interviewing street sweepers, getting the lowdown on them. She's doing a little bit of books. She's trying to care for them. Sebastian also gets the background on Eisler. Then we find Jarvis is more involved in this than we knew. And there's a lot going on with the jewels. We find out the history of the jewel. It was originally a French jewel. It was part of the royal jewels for the French. And it's really intriguing. I love the historical parts about it. I love the history parts about it. So I don't know. Let me see what this says. I like history. I'm a history person. So if you can put a mystery in history, that's why I like the Steve Berry books too. So Napoleon had something of a grudge against the Duke. You see, in addition to being the brother-in-law of the King of England, father-in-law to the Prince of Wales, and a patron of artists and scholars, he was also considered one of Europe's best generals. When the American colonists revolted against us, good old King George actually asked Brunswick to lead Britain's forces. He refused. Some say it was because he wanted King George to fail, that he was sympathetic to the Americans' cause. I suspect he was. In 1792, the French revolutionary government in their turn approached Brunswick and asked him to take command of their army. He refused them as well, but not without expressing his support for the reforms they were enacting. According to Colott, Brunswick army was within 100 miles of Paris at the time of the theft of the French jewels. So this army of guys, group of guys, stole the French jewels during this uprising, and uh, they were never recovered, and the men were never recovered too. They all got away, which was unusual for this time period. So there's a lot going on here, and I just want to share the end of this, because you're waiting the whole book for the girl in the closet to come out to reveal that she knows who the real murderer is because she witnessed who the murderer is. But uh, they finally, Sebastian doesn't find out about her till way, way late in the book. Although he does find her shoes. She left her slippers in the parlor. So he does find those under the couch. No one else spotted those. But it isn't until he learns about the priest hole in like the final chapters of the books that they puts it all together. The theft of the French crown jewels from the Garden Marble in Paris in 1792 was essentially as described here, although the involvement of Dayton and Roland was suggested has never been proven. Napoleon's determination to recover the French crown jewels, as well as the ruthlessness of the methods he employed, was likewise real. The identification of the Hope diamond as the recut French blue is now generally accepted. An old lead cast of the French blue with a label saying it belonged to Mr. Hope of London was recently discovered in a drawer in the French National History Museum in Paris. Was donated in 1850 by a descendant of the Archer family. Interesting enough, Charles Archer was both a close associate of the Hopes and one of the lapidaries tasked by Napoleon to recover the French crown jewel. How Hope acquired the diamond is not known, although multiple theories exist. I have chosen the one best suited to the story. It's significant that Napoleon, who surely knew more than we do about the events of 1792, always believed that the Duke of Brunswick, father of the Princess of Wales, Caroline, had been bribed with the diamond not to attack Paris. There is also considerable evidence to support the belief that Brunswick sent his jewels to Caroline when his duchy was threatened by Napoleon, and that she sold them after his death. Hope and Company did indeed run into financial difficulties as a result of the war and sold to Barings in 1813. The recut blue diamond repeatedly briefly in London in 1812. Exactly 20 years after its original theft, when a Huguenot lapidary French civilian drew up a sales prospect for a London diamond merchant named Daniel Ellison. Since that gentleman did not meet a violent death and was, as far as I know, nothing like the nasty character here portrayed, I changed my character's name to Daniel Isa in making him a murder victim. What happened to the diamond after September 1812 is not known, although there is considerable evidence that it was acquired by Prince Regent and was in his possession until his death in 1830. At that point, it reappeared in the possession of Henry Philip Hope, although he always refused to divulge its origins. So check it out, and we will sit here and cry if the video is garbled. I will just cry. I don't want to lose subscribers. I could use all the subscribers I can get. So please join me for the next book. I'm looking forward to it. Have a good day.